What's going on? We're back. It's Bars. A couple of week hiatus. Obviously international break helped with that. Didn't do one last week. I didn't think there was too much need to do one. I thought I'd have an extra week off. But we're back. The duo's back. I'm ready to preview and get stuck into all the games and stuff that happen on the weekends. So, how you doing, Ron?
Not bad. Not bad. Enjoy the soccer over the weekend?
No, didn't watch a lot of it, to be honest.
I
really didn't watch a lot of it, to be honest. But I don't know, just had a weekend. I was like, I'll take time away from it. But still kept in touch with the results and everything, which you have to. So, speaking on that, we'll get stuck in. Winners and losers. I think we'll go to losers first. I think that's a bit more of a talking point because this week there are a lot of losers out of the weekend. First off, we'll start with Man City, which are probably not very many times they're going to be in the losers column.
Yeah, so it's a good time to do them, yeah.
So it's a good time to talk about them, but their defence was shocking. They just showed. I did watch this game, and it just showed how important Laporte is to their defence.
Yeah. If you didn't know, apparently John Stones and Otamendi, their least ever used defence, like least ever partnership, amount of minutes together over the last 5 years. Yeah.
But just the thing that literally summed up Man City's day was when Otamendi got the ball, and Wendia just came straight through, said thank you very much, and went into Pookie.
We've said this before. Norwich is a very good attacking team. They did it against Liverpool and they've done it against Man City, two of the best teams in the league. So, they're going to take some points off of other big teams as well. That's for sure. Yeah.
So it's obviously well done to Norwich for obviously winning the game, and obviously City obviously won losers. Probably the other losers out of the weekend has to be Arsenal. They were 2-0 up away to Watford, a team that had been struggling. They got a new manager in that obviously formerly used to manage them. I
think that was definitely a very good move.
Yeah, it was a good move. They played well under him anyway.
Yeah.
And they came from 2-0 down, and Arsenal faced the most amount of shots that they've faced in a Premier League game ever.
Yeah, they've faced the most shots in the Premier, 5 games now they've played in the Premier League. I think that's the most shots that any team has ever faced in 5 games. They've faced over 90 shots.
It just shows
which is just I
saw a meme on I can't remember where I saw it, but they just said that Frank Lampard orchestrated a move for David to get at Arsenal just so he could sabotage Arsenal's season. So that was quite funny.
It is true in a way. Their backline is shocking, and funny enough, right? They had their midfield set up as a 4 in midfield, so they've had a 4-4-2 essentially, and yet they faced 31 shots. That's really bad, They didn't even have, you look at most teams have 2-man midfields now, or they have 3-man midfields. They had 4. So, Arsenal, I think this week they faced 31, and the week before that they faced 20, which whoever they played the week before they faced 20. So, 51 shots in 2 games, and Watford are bottom of the league, so...
Tottenham.
They faced 20 shots against Tottenham, so...
Yeah, and they've conceded 4 goals in the past 2 games, so obviously not very good.
Yeah, and they're being very lucky with that, 50 shots only conceding 4 goals, they're...
Pretty good. Leno's saving them a lot.
Yeah, but...
He's made 12 saves in 2 games, which is not good at all, so...
Yeah.
We'll move on to the winners. Obviously the big winners out of the weekend. We'll start with Bournemouth over Everton. Bit of a surprise result, this one. If we did the podcast, we did predictions, I would have predicted Everton. I probably would have said something like a 2-1 win away from home. But Everton seem to be a team that they'll click for 10 minutes, then they'll switch off. But when they're on for 10 minutes, they don't really make the most of it.
No.
So they saw against Villa, they dominated for half an hour, conceded the goal, and then Villa just sort of took the game away. Didn't do much against Crystal Palace on opening day or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they haven't done too great, but obviously we're not talking about Everton, we're talking about Bournemouth. They played quite well, scoring the 3 goals. Callum Wilson got a couple of goals, and Ryan Fraser got his first goal for the season. So good for them to start off.
Yeah.
Not much else. And obviously the other wins you probably talk about Chelsea going away from home, scoring 5 goals, and probably more specifically a winner, Tammy Abraham. 7 goals in 3 games. It's ridiculous.
Very good. It's a problem for him now. As obviously this morning Mason Mount got injured. But I don't know if that's going to affect him too much.
It's not going to affect him.
You've got Barkley there who...
I don't think it's going to affect anyone except Mount, because they've got the midfield there anyway. Of like, he usually plays sort of almost like on a wing, which he really shouldn't be. But they usually play like Kovacic, Jorginho, and Kante, and then play Mount on a wing, or if they play Barkley in midfield. Like, very rarely does he play on a wing. So Chelsea just don't have wingers really.
But they still have that Mount and Abraham link.
But
yeah, with Barkley being in the team, Abraham should be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they played very well. Yeah. They just showed again what I said earlier on in the year, how Wolves are not the team as they were last year.
They're doing what Burnley did when they were in the European competitions. They struggled. I think when they eventually get knocked out, which I think they probably will, because you'd like.
Yeah, but the Europa League hasn't even started yet. Do you know what I mean? So like,
meaning when they get knocked out. Yeah. I think that they'll probably start to play a little bit better in the Premier League. But
I still don't think they're that great this season.
No, they're not. They drew their first 3 games, 1-1, and then they eventually won. Shut up, you stupid phone. But yeah, so that's the losers for the week, and we're now going to move into the results from the previous weekend. So the first game of the week was Liverpool welcoming Newcastle at home, 3-1 win to Liverpool. Mane got on the score sheet a couple of times. It just shows that every week, on any given week, Mane's going to score a couple, Salah's going to do maybe a little bit, if not anything. He scored obviously the 1 goal near the end. And then one week Salah's going to get 2 goals and Mane's not going to do anything, or he might get a goal.
Yeah, and it's the same thing on Robertson and Trent. 1 week Trent will get 2 assists, and then Robertson will get nothing, and then the next
got
week
the assist on the
Robertson
weekend.
will get the assist.
I think the biggest thing out of that game to know was the fact that how important Firmino is. They didn't start Firmino, they started Origi. They brought Origi off. I think it was because of an injury. I didn't actually see the game, so I don't know. Yeah. But then Firmino, and they were 1-0 down at that point.
Yeah.
And then Firmino comes on, bang bang, Mane, and then Salah, and then gets assists the Salah goal.
Yeah.
So, and Firmino was involved in all 3 goals. I think the second Mane goal was a deflection, but Firmino was still involved.
I think this game also showed as well, like, where everyone's starting to see the different defensive mids. Like, there's fullbacks and defensive mids in the Premier League at the moment. There's definitely a young influx of, like I said, fullbacks and centre mids. And for me, Kante is getting a bit older, and you're starting to look now at players like Fabinho. Jorginho's started the season off really well. Declan Rice, like, you're looking at these guys as midfielders, and I think Fabinho's starting to put his hand up as probably the best. Ndidi's there as well, but Fabinho's like the more polished version of Ndidi. Fabinho's looking like the best defensive midfielder in the league, and his performance again was great. So yeah.
And it's good to Newcastle.
So like, we're talking about how obviously Firmino's so important at Liverpool. I think Fabinho's even more important. Actually, I take that back. Not more important, but
you just say just as
important.
Just
as important, yeah.
And I thought maybe Newcastle might have been able to do a little bit better holding on, but I guess Liverpool away, it's one of the tougher trips in the Premier League. So there you go. It's a 3-1 win for Liverpool. Brighton and Burnley played out a 1-1 draw. I don't know if there's not too much thing to say. Obviously, Hendrick got his last minute goal in added time. It was a nice goal, but it was pretty boring game. I thought maybe Burnley might have been able to get the win, but it's just 2 defensive teams going up against each other. It doesn't really equate to many goals, obviously. So probably move on pretty swiftly from that one. But Barnes didn't score, which is weird. He's been scoring every week, so there you go. Man United 1-0 win over Leicester at Old Trafford, which was nice as a United supporter to see them win. But again, it wasn't really the best performance. It was still just a 1-0. It was a penalty. Rashford, well, at least Rashford scored a penalty. At least we scored a penalty this season.
Oh, I mean, the whole penalty thing was a bit like stupid. Like, that was the first. That was the first penalty that Rashford missed, and it hit the post.
Like,
you are going to miss penalties, and the whole Pogba thing.
I meant more. I meant more of penalties.
It was more like the whole that penalty thing. It was more the fact that Pogba had missed a few. Like that I think that was the third or fourth Pogba had missed out of 5.
I only mentioned the penalty thing because we missed. Oh yeah,
anyway.
I meant because we missed 3 penalties to start the season. I think no, sorry, 2 to start the season. We missed the Pogba one against Wolves, and then we missed the one with Rashford against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, but
so,
yeah, I think the penalty thing was also the fact of like them swapping. Like usually you only have one penalty taker, so I think that's just why it was a bit of a concern. But Rashford, I'm very happy with Rashford taking the penalties. He looks very calm. Yeah, I'm not bothered. I don't really want Pogba taking him. That's just what I think. I think Martial should take him anyway, but he wasn't playing.
Yeah, well, obviously Rashford scored
Rashford scored the penalty.
Rashford scored the one in week 1, then he scored the one. So
he's the one that wants to step up anyway.
Rashford's got 2 out of 3. Pogba's got none from 1.
Yeah.
So Pogba's was the worst.
Even like seasons back, like Pogba's got 10 out of 15, and Rashford's got like 9 out of 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
the only one he missed was the one against Palace. They hit the bar, or post, I should say.
Yeah.
So no, it's good for United. A bit disappointing for Leicester not to.
Yeah, I mean,
do too much.
I was very tempted to put like off air.
I think if this was a home Leicester game, you would have said yes, but because it's away.
I think the reason why you could put Leicester in the in the losers, like we're not going to, but you could have, was because like Leicester rocked up to Old Trafford and they were actually disappointed when they lost. Like they were the favourites going in, and
well, I thought Leicester were going to win.
And like they've got all the if you looked at their starting 11 and looked at our starting 11, you add maybe Harry Maguire back into their 11 because we just bought him off them, and you might have said their 11's better than ours. That's I mean, and unfortunately for Leicester, because they're the team that are outside the top 6 that could probably break in for me. Like Wolves aren't going to do it, Everton's not going to do it, West Ham's not going to do it. If it's going to be someone, it's going to be Leicester, right?
I retract my statement saying that Everton were going to be near the top 4 because the way they're playing, they're not. So I retract that. No one can quote me on that now. So
with Leicester, this was the opportunity for them to show like we can get into the top 6, we can get into the top 4. I know they came to Man United ground, but
it just shows like they got close, but they're just not there.
They're just not there. Like Ndidi had a good game, but on the ball he couldn't do anything. Maddison played very well.
All of their players, like you could say, Chilwell's world class. Ndidi's world class. Vardy's world class. No, like Chilwell, great player. Ndidi, great player. Vardy, great player. They're not at the caliber of like a top 6 team. Whereas like a Maddison is their only player that you'd probably.
And he was the only one that had a good game for them. Chilwell was very quiet. Ndidi was quiet.
Obviously, soon could go by the penalty. Yeah. There were high hopes for him.
And so to wrap it all up, like the Leicester fans would have walked out and been like, this was a time where we could have beat United, and they didn't. Yeah. And
time to strike, and they missed out.
And it's a bit worrying for them because I don't think after this season they're going to keep players like Maddison, players like Chilwell. They're all going to go.
Chilwell will probably go to a better team, so I think that he's still a very, very good left back, so he could go to a better team.
Madison won't be there next season.
Madison won't. Hopefully he won't be there in January. Hopefully United sign him.
We'll see what happens.
There you go. Southampton won away 1-0 against Sheffield United. I guess another one of those games, little bit like the Burnley Brighton. Weren't going to be many goals. Sheffield.
Shea Adams actually got a shot on target.
Did he?
Wow.
There you go. Billy Sharp.
I was very much thinking about putting in my fantasy team this year.
I think a lot of people were, including myself. But Billy Sharp, red card. That was a stupid challenge. He deserved red. It wasn't stupid. And then obviously Gineppo got good solo goals. So that was nice for him. He's been a lot better than what Chambers did. I didn't even know who he was or he was even playing.
Yeah, Gineppo looks quick and agile.
Yeah, so it's good for Southampton to get for those teams, even if it's a boring game. Just 3 points and leave. That's all they want. So whereas bigger teams want to be obviously scoring some goals and get the win. So Tottenham 4-0 against Palace. You could arguably say that you could put them in the winners column, but at the end of the day, they're expected to beat Palace at home.
We didn't beat Palace, but
but you're expected and I'm not. And Owen, don't get offended by this, but I'm saying the top 6 teams are expected to beat Crystal Palace at home.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't. Man United didn't.
No.
And Palace are the sort of team that will give a top 6 team trouble. They beat the top. I think they beat the top 6 teams each once last season. So they're always going to give team trouble. But Son just showed that he's clearly Tottenham's best player. Like you could say Kane is, but I think Son is because Son is just that guy that is like the barometer for Tottenham. Like Kane will still score a goal even if he's having a bad game. And whereas Son,
I think Kane's their best player, but I think Son's their most important player.
Yeah. I think that Kane will Kane will score a pen when he's having a bad game, whereas Son will still do something every single game. And he is always involved in the game.
Yeah, I know what you mean there. It's like, but if you look at Harry Kane for England, like he's their best striker.
Oh yeah,
he's so influential. But yeah, like you said, like Kane has a lot of bad games, but that's what people don't like. Aguero's a more consistent striker.
I think Son's more consistent. That's what I think. So, but no, it was good for them. And then Lamela scored, your favourite player.
Yeah, great.
So, all right, Southampton. No, not Southampton already. Wolverhampton. Southampton. I got Hampton right, but not the South and the Wolf.
That's right.
Wolverhampton.
Yes.
They lost 5-2 to Chelsea at home.
We
they
talked
conceded
about this
5 goals. So we won't go into too much detail again, but obviously, as I said, Tammy Abraham a hat-trick. He scored 7 goals in 3 games.
I swear there was a video online. Someone was saying that who's the defender for Wolves? Who are the centre backs for Wolves?
Cody.
I think it's
Bennett. Cody Bennett and Bolly, I'm sure.
Someone said that Cody should be England's centre back and that he's better than Maguire. This is before that game.
Cody's a good player, but he's not better than Maguire.
Yeah, and he doesn't need.
And that's not bias talking. That's just pure knowledge.
Van Dijk's the best centre back in the league. Maguire's definitely the second best centre back in the league.
Laporte's 3.
I wouldn't because Laporte's too injury prone.
No, but I'm meaning in terms of the when they're
ability.
Playing, because look how important he is. Look, Man City.
I'd still put Maguire there. I'd still put Maguire above Laporte, and then everyone else is after that. You can't put Cody in the same conversation.
So it's just disappointing for if a team like Wolves, you can see 5 goals at home. It's not good.
Maybe that's why it clearly shows why they're so defensive because
the
defense.
I think the best thing for them, and they'll all disagree with me. People Wolves, they're never going to talk to me. But if they did, they'd say that no, we can still do both. But I think that they can't. You cannot play in the Europa League and the Premier League.
Look how thin their squad is.
I know. It's like the same 11 players week in, week out.
And then all you've got is potentially Catroni off the bench or Doherty.
Or Adama, if you play.
Yeah, because Adama's starting at the moment. Yeah, so you've only got 2 on the bench.
It's like literally 13 players in the squad. No. So you need more. Even United have got more depth.
Yeah,
so,
obviously.
But so not good for Wolves to lose at home. So Norwich, surprise result of the season. Surprise result of the weekend. I don't know if there'll be too much. Another result that's more surprising is
Crystal Palace versus Man City was a surprise result of the season last year.
Oh, Man City. I'm thinking Man this season because the Man United Crystal Palace is a bit surprising as well. But we did partly call Norwich.
Partly, we did
about that.
We didn't call Norwich directly in relation to Man City.
No, but we said they're going to give people trouble because they're a good tagging team. Pookie is. I'll tell you what, if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to win the Ballon d'Or. if you focus specifically on the last 2 months, he got
Player of the Month, obviously.
Yeah, I think if you focus on the last 2 months, you'd probably make an argument for he's the best player in the world. Is anyone else doing better than what Pookie is at the moment? Not really. He's scoring.
Abraham, mate.
Pookie's doing it for a team that has got promoted, and he's literally carrying Norwich on his shoulders along with Cantwell. Cantwell's a good player.
Cantwell's doing really well, yeah.
Tell you what, I'd look at Cantwell as a signing for the top team because he's young and he's doing well. I'd look at Pookie, to be honest.
No, it's too old. 29.
That's all right. He's scoring goals.
He can go to a good team. Yeah.
But no, so Aguero has got the equal record for goals scored in the first 5 Premier League games. There's only one other. I can't remember who it was. They said. There's only one person that scored in the first 5 games of the season. I think if he scores in the next game, he sets the record of scoring in the 6 and red. And he could break Vardy's. He close in on Van Nistelrooy and Vardy.
Yeah.
Van Nistelrooy being second, and
we see what happens. That's still a long way away.
Still another 4 or 5 games. He's still got to score. If he scores another 3 games, then we can probably start talking about records and stuff like that. But just something to point out. Bournemouth 3-1 against Everton, as we mentioned. Wilson with 2 goals, Fraser with 1. Good to see Fraser on the score sheet again. Bit of a lacklustre start to the season, and then Everton just not clicking at the moment. I don't know why they keep persisting.
I think he's definitely under stress. What's it called? Under the microscope. Is that the word?
Silva. I just don't know why he doesn't play Moise Kean up front instead of Calvert-Lewin. Like, they actually played well with Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, and Iwobi as the front 3 in the previous game, which was, if I recall.
Moise Kean, you mean?
What did I say?
Calvert-Lewin.
Sorry, Moise Kean. Yeah, that's what we want. They scored the 3 goals even though it was against Wolves, but still.
Yeah.
So
1 week, getting the result against Wolves, and then losing to Bournemouth.
Yeah, it's not good. So.
No. It's very inconsistent.
Watford.
And then the week before that they lost to Aston Villa, so it just shows how inconsistent.
Yeah. Very up and down.
Yeah.
Like a bit of a roller coaster. So there you go. Watford, Arsenal 2-2 draw. Good for Watford to get. I think that is actually their first point of the season.
Pretty sure that is.
Which, if it is, that's pretty bad look for Arsenal. That is their second point of the season. They had a draw previously.
Okay.
So, but regardless, Arsenal. It just shows that there's 3 teams, and then there's 4 spot for whoever wants it. Tottenham, I know they lost to Newcastle at home. They're gonna still finish third. I know we said probably Arsenal were gonna finish third, but it's just Tottenham are just more consistent at the end of the day.
I think Lacazette being injured for a month as well doesn't help. I think it's only a month. Yeah.
But yeah, Lacazette being out, Arsenal are gonna be. It's literally toss a coin between Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man United at the moment. Yeah. That's a 3-way.
And at the moment,
Chelsea.
I'd probably put it on Chelsea, but for me,
and that's poor on Arsenal and United's.
Yeah, well, Arsenal and United are the
Arsenal and Man United have invested heavily in their squads in the past couple of seasons. More so Arsenal because they weren't investing, and then all of a sudden, what's his name? What's the owner's name?
Emery.
No, the owner.
Kroenke.
Kroenke, that's right. Yeah. He owns the Buccaneers in the NFL as well.
What a name.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, mate.
Crazy.
Pirates. But yeah, like Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, they invested in all of those guys. Pepe can't do it all himself. Aubameyang can't do it all himself.
No. They only had.
Their defence is shocking.
Against Watford, I think they only had 7 shots, 4 on target.
Yeah.
And then Watford had 31 shots with 20 on target or something like that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's literally like a 5-man team of like Leno, Torreira, and the front 3. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like
I'd put Guendouzi in there, because also Torreira doesn't start. Emery
look what Guendouzi did. He went to the crowd and was just like 2-1.
Oh, wow.
And then they drew 2-2.
That's funny.
Or he did 2-0 or something. I don't know.
It's like, again, same thing with Emery. Doesn't play the right players. Again, another formation. Tinkering. Like, he just needs to. Get it settled, and it's for me, like, it's funny because Arsenal are very top heavy, and then the worst thing. Whereas Man United are the opposite. Man United got a sick back 5, and then the further you get up the pitch, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
Like, without Martial, I'm talking about now. Without Pogba, you're not. Like, Daniel James is a good player, but he wasn't meant to come in and be our shining light. Rashford's in poor form, and then you look at Chelsea; they're good all over the park, but they haven't been able to invest. So. Like you said, that 4th spot's up for grabs. I think Arsenal's defence is terrible, whereas Man United's attack is just good.
Yeah.
It's okay. So I think, but it depends. A lot of games, funnily enough, Arsenal get away with it, or Aubameyang scoring a goal or whatever. So we see what happens.
Yeah. So we've got to hurry because our booking ends in 8 minutes. So we've got 8 minutes to finish the podcast. Aston Villa, West Ham, 0-0 draw. Masuaku got 2 yellow cards. Not really much to say there. Probably you think West Ham be a bit disappointed not getting points away, but decent for Villa to get a point. That point could come important in terms of the end of the season. So, game week 6, Friday.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it for the game. So, Game week 6, we have a Friday night game. Southampton and Bournemouth. I don't really know if that's probably a Friday night game you'd put on. I guess it's good for Southampton and Bournemouth, but early prediction, I think you'd probably say something like Southampton would win 1-0.
I'm going to go Bournemouth 2-0. I don't know, I just think they're...
Actually, no, I'll go 2-1 Southampton at home.
I just think Bournemouth, Callum Wilson's in his stride now, a little bit, and yeah, I think they're going to win.
Yeah, so what, 1-0 for you,
2-0.
2-0 for you, and 2-1 Southampton for me. So difference of opinion. Leicester Tottenham. Leicester need to bounce back against Tottenham, but I don't think they will. They'll score, but I don't think that they'll win. So I'm predicting a 3-1 Tottenham away win.
I think this is interesting because Vardy likes a game against Spurs.
That's what I mean. I think
because you've got Davis and Sanchez, they probably won't even play. If you have like Adebayo and Vertonghen, the two very slow centre backs, Vardy could definitely score in this game. He likes slow centre backs, obviously, because he's so quick.
Yeah. So there you go.
So I'd say 2-1 Tottenham.
Yeah, 2-1 and 3-1. Burnley Norwich. Very interesting game. You would have thought before the season, but the fact it's at Turf Moor, Burnley are very good defensively. Norwich have got nothing defensively, but they're very, very good attack. Yeah. That's what I mean. I'm very split on this game because at one hand I'm just like Norwich beat Man City, but that was at home and they don't have a defence, whereas Burnley are very good at defence. I'm going to sit on the fence and go for a 1-1 draw, just because I think Burnley are very good defensively. Norwich are very, very good attacking.
I'm going to go 2-1 Norwich.
It's going
to be an upset.
Yeah, I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. So there you go. Everton, Sheffield United at Goodison Park. Everton, it's 3 words, 4 words. Simply need to win. Simple as that. They need to win.
Yeah, I think they'll win as well. Yeah.
Sheffield United, I think 2-0 win at home.
Yeah.
Simple as that. They just need to win. So will you say 2-0 as well?
Yeah.
Man City, Watford. I think that Watford, good for them.
I think this is the worst time they ever versus Man City.
The thing that's good about Watford is they've versed hard teams. Now they'll get a good run after this, but Man City will bounce back.
I think this is the worst time to verse Man City. When Man
City
lose.
This could be a 4 or 5-0 win. I thought it'd be 5 or 6-0 win against Norwich, but coming off a loss back at Etihad.
I didn't think it was going to be a 5-6.
I thought it was going to be quite high to Man City with the no defence.
Yeah, good point.
I think Man City 4-0 winners at home to Watford, I think. Newcastle Brighton, a late game on the Sunday at St James's Park. You just got to go Newcastle at home, I think. I think they'll grind out a 1-0 win. I don't think Brighton will be able to score because Newcastle are good defensively, and I think maybe like a Joel Linton goal or Atsu goal or something will
something like that.
Get the win. So 1-0 win to Brighton.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Crystal Palace Wolves. Well, before the season we said Wolves, but Palace at home are generally quite good.
And Wolves are very down on confidence, and are they playing Europa League?
I think they are.
Yeah.
So on that note, I'm going to go 1-0 win to Palace. I think. Would you agree as well?
Yeah, I'd probably.
I was going to say 1-1 draw, but the fact with the Europa League, I think that Wolves are going to struggle.
Push them over.
So
yeah.
1-0 win to Palace. There you go. On. West Ham, Manchester United. At London Stadium. Last time I played, there wasn't good memories.
No,
it wasn't good memories. We sat there and
I don't think we're going to play McTominay at centre back this game, so we should be alright. Yeah.
Didn't we play McTominay and Matic at centre back? Didn't we play 3-back? I swear we played a 3-back.
So we started the game with Jones, Smalling, and Herrera as a back 3.
Oh, that's
and then
right,
eventually, half time, I think he took someone off and put McTominay as
you don't play Herrera, so at centre back.
I think we should do better. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think this will be a different result. To what it was last season. I think that Man United should get 2-0 win away.
Yeah, I think they'll get the job done. I think something that you can focus on now with De Gea signing the new contract and Maguire and Wan-Bissaka coming in is Man United are going to keep a lot more clean sheets of what people think. If anything, they're going to be more boring than what people think because in attack it's and that's what Ollie's tried to do is build a good foundation, and I think that's better than what Arsenal are doing because you're better off having a better foundation and working up from that rather than having a great front line and not having a good foundation because then it's just very discouraging.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be. I don't see West Ham scoring. It'll be a 2-0.
Yeah. And the final 2 games of the week, Arsenal, Aston Villa. Arsenal have to win. Simple.
I think they'll win.
I think they'll concede still.
Yeah.
I think it'll probably.
Aston Villa. You got McGinn. You got.
I think
you
it'll
got
be a
Grealish.
3-1 win at home, just
Yeah,
purely
I think
because
2-1.
it's at home. Because
I think
Emirates are
2-1.
good. I was thinking 2-1, but I think Arsenal just might get that extra goal, so I think it might be a 3-1 win. And the game of the weekend, Chelsea-Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. The way Chelsea's been playing, it's going to be tough. And it's tough because both these teams are coming off Champions League games midweek, so there's no favouritism. I think Liverpool, if they want to win the title, they haven't dropped points yet.
No, they haven't dropped any points yet.
So if they want to win, they lost obviously to Napoli this morning.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win 2-1. I think Liverpool might concede a goal, but I think Liverpool will just grind out that win away.
It's weird because Liverpool's team, you could argue this season is not as good as it was. It's not as good this season as it was last season, but obviously 97 points. They didn't even win the title, but Man City's team is a little bit worse this season per se, especially with the injuries of Laporte and the injury of Leroy Sané.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help. Liverpool will concede chances, but who are they versing again? It was against Chelsea. Abraham's going to be, licking his lips a little bit. He's going to be in form. Van Dijk hopefully can handle him, but it'll be interesting. I think the loss of Mount during the week doesn't help Chelsea. They're probably going to have to now start someone like a Pedro or a Willian, which is a bit of a downgrade.
Yeah.
But it's at Stamford Bridge, so it's going to be a very even game.
Yeah.
Funnily enough,
it could be a 1-1 draw.
Funnily enough, I think it comes down to good old Mohamed Salah. I think that's where Chelsea are the weakest, and that's where Liverpool are the strongest.
Yeah.
If Chelsea had better fullbacks, I'd say this game could probably be a draw.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
I think they'll still defend well. I think they'll grind out a win though. Liverpool will. So 2-1 win Liverpool. So that's it for the predictions for the week. Won't touch a lot on fantasy this week because I haven't really looked at my team too much. I know I fell from like 400,000 to like 1.4 million in a week because I put Pookie and Cantwell on my bench because I thought Man City were just going to nullify them all.
Yeah.
I tried to take a risk because I knew people were going to play Pookie and Cantwell because they just had to. I thought I'd take a risk and put them on my bench. And I left like 19 points on my bench and no one was injured or a late out or anything in any game. I played Lundstrom and like Peters and that, and none of them kept clean sheets. I don't think any of my players scored over 8 points. I think Rash was my high scoring player with like 6 or 7. So, but from what I looked at, I think I said I'd put Sterling captain this week against Watford. He hasn't done like anything in terms of big fantasy since the first game week, so I think I'll put him captain.
Yeah,
I'd love to get Aguero in my team though, because he just looks like he's going to keep doing it. So, but there you go. Any update on fantasy for you, or you haven't looked at it?
I think Mount's in my team, so I've got to get rid of him. Maybe bring in Abraham. I don't know. We see what happens. Maybe Aguero.
Yeah.
Got to shuffle things around.
So you'll
I'd
have a look and you'll see.
I'd go Sterling as well, because
Okay.
Sterling's in my team.
Yeah.
If Anthony Martial comes back, West Ham, I'd still go Sterling this week. I think Man City want to rectify what happened last week for sure.
Yeah, so there you go. Sterling is going to be the captain for our fantasy team. So thank you very much for joining us on another podcast. I think this actually ran as the best podcast we've had.
There you go.
But that's it for today. Sorry about not being there last week on the week 4, but international break and just didn't really particularly want to do the podcast last week. But we're back, we're in the flow, and we got it done. So, like the video if you did, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn notifications on so you don't miss when I put the next video up. There'll be a video after the Manchester United West Ham game on the this weekend. There was no review for the Leicester game just because I just didn't really want to do a review either because I was just Norwich United. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do one. So, yeah, so look out for that video coming next, and the podcast will be next week, same time, same area, but maybe not same room, but we'll see what happens. So, yeah, so as usual, thank you, Ryan, for joining me. Links to social media for myself and him will be in the description below. So check them out, and we will see you next week. And have a good rest of your week. I'm out. Cheers.